Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In here we're going to look at arithmetic operations. So how do we do calculations in Java? So hopefully you have typed this and created your project. This is app.java as indicated in the app folder here. So I have in this drive H, Java projects folder, and then the app folder here, capital A, and then I have that file as app.java, which is this one, and this is the contents I have in there. Then I also have the command line open, and I've navigated to this particular location. If you don't know how to do any of this, please check the previous videos. Okay, so once we are here, let's put our trusty system.out.println here in anticipation for what we're going to do. So I'm going to put A in there because I'll declare it here in a moment. So I want to look at how we can do a mathematical operation. So we're going to use integers. So I'm going to say int A is equal to 4, and then int B is equal to 5, something like this. Now, the operations we can use as follows. So comment this out. But we have a plus sign, we have a minus sign, we have a multiplication, which is the star, we have the division, which is the slash, and then we have the modulus, which is like this. Then we also have the plus plus, and we have the minus minus, like that. So let's see how any of all of these work. So here I need to put C actually, because I'm going to declare C and do an operation. So int C is going to be equal to A, and then we put an operation. So you already know what's going to happen when I put A plus B, so I don't need to mention that. A minus B, like this will work just fine, and it will show us an answer. So if I save this, let's just do this one time and see how that looks. So we're going to say javac app.java so that we compile our app, and then we do again java app to run it, and it gives you an answer of -1. So keep in mind that an integer is also in the negatives, so that is properly valid, unless if there was a decimal point remaining, it wouldn't show because this is an integer, I guess. So if I do multiplication, I put a star like that, it will multiply. Let's try and put a division. Let's see what happens here. So I'm gonna go here, let's do javac and app.java, and then now we're gonna do java app. So you see it shows us a 0. Not that that's the answer, but because we didn't expect any decimal places, this is an integer, it throws away all decimal points. However, if we put this as a float like this, let's try this here. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to do javac app.java to compile, and then java, and then app to run. So you see now it shows me a decimal point instead, 0,0. Let's see here, what is 4 divided by 5? 0.8. So the answer here now, let's see if we put a double. What happens? Let me go here, let's see ls. So I'm gonna do javac app.java, okay, then java to run the app. So I still get 0,0. So what I should do is cast this value as a double as well. So I can do that by putting in brackets here double, let's see here, so that the answer is considered a double as well, because it is being considered a double, but I think that's happening after the calculation has happened. That's why we don't get any decimals. But let's try it this way. javac app.java, and then let's put java java app. Oh boy, this doesn't work either. Now the reason why it doesn't work is as you can see, the result has a decimal point when I do that, but the thing is I'm only casting it as a double after the operation has happened already. So we need to make sure these are treated as doubles before we even make the calculation. So here what I'll do is I'll put double in here and copy that and put double there as well. So by putting a bracket like this and saying double, I'm telling Java that even though I know this is an integer, right, but treat it like a double or convert it to a double. This is how you do conversion. So I can convert it to a float, to an int, to a string by just putting the text in there. For example, int like that, then I can convert it to that in real time, but only if the conversion is possible, right? So here I'm telling it, treat this a as a double, treat that as a double. I don't need the brackets in the outside there. I can just do it like this and then divide the two. So let's see also where we are storing the value should be a double so that it manages to store the answer. So let's come back here. I'm gonna do javac app.java to compile the app, and then again Java, and then I'll do app to run it. So now we see we get a more precise answer. This can work with float as well. So let's do float like that, because double is just a bigger version of float. It will work the same way. So javac app.java, and then finally Java app to run the app, and you see the answer is like that. Okay, so enough about that. Let's do simpler calculations. So let's say C here is just say int C is equal to 10, for example. Okay, so if I print that out, it's going to give me 10. But here I can do something like C++ like that. So by putting this double plus, I'm just saying C plus 1. That's what this does here. Same with minus, it just means C minus 1. So I expect to get a 9 over here. But let's test, of course, as always. And there we go. We get 11, yes, because we are not a 9 but 11. So it's plus plus, that's C plus 1. So if I put minus minus, obviously you know what I'm going to get here. I'm going to get a 9 instead. But let's see it to prove it. Let me clean up a little bit and then run the app. So I get a 9 like this. Now you can also do the minus minus on the other side to subtract before an operation. The difference would be more apparent if we were doing an operation where we subtract before and subtract after. So let's see here if we'll get similar results as a 9. So please go ahead and do some experimentation. You can't really break the computer by doing these things. So just test the limits of what can be done. When you do your own testing, it's very different from somebody just teaching you stuff. So do your own tests and see what you get. So it looks the same, but if we're doing an operation here where we do that and then minus and plus, when things get more complex, you see the difference. As we make applications, you're going to see the difference there. Now the modulus is the only remaining one, and this one just shows you the remainder of an operation. So here where we have 4, it's like dividing two numbers and then giving the remainder. So this one is going to be A divided by B. Now instead of division, we're going to use a modulus like that. So we just get the remainder. That's all. So let's do Java. Actually, let me put b minus, since the, actually it doesn't matter, we can do this, we'll get the remainder, java c app.java, and then finally we say java app. So that's the remainder there when we divide those two. So 4 into there, the remainder is 4, I guess. Alright, so these are the mathematical operations you can do in here. Simple and straightforward like that. Now there's an exception to the plus sign here. So when you're dealing with strings, it actually adds the strings together. So this is called, it's kind of operator overloading. That's what it's called, but this is not allowed in Java. This is the only instance where it's allowed. So if I create a string like this, operators are these guys here, right? These are operators here, and including equal signs and assignment operators and stuff. Now, when we say operator overloading, it just means the operator does more than one thing. So, for example, in other languages, the plus sign just adds, like in PHP, it just adds 2 numbers. It doesn't do anything else. For connecting 2 strings, you use a dot, but in here, plus sign does 2 things. So here we can say string A is equal to this is. Now let me put quotes around this because this is a string after all. And then we can have another string like string B is equal to a sentence, like that. So you see, this is, I've put a space there intentionally so that when I join these two, it makes sense. So now you can join these two by just saying print A plus B. So this will not try to add these mathematically, it will just join the two together. So let's see that. Let's clear up and say java c app.java. And then finally we say java app. And you see, this is a sentence, so it joins those two. So just by looking at the data type, it will know what to do. If these were integers, then it's going to add them as mathematical values. Now, what you can't do though is if I say b as an int is equal to 5 and I try to join these two, let's see what happens in this case. I do the plus sign for those two, so java c and app.java, and then let's run the application. This is 5. Actually it works, look at that, very good. So this works just fine. You can connect things like this. So this is useful for when maybe you are trying to construct a sentence. You can say this is let's see, this jug has maybe 5 plus liters. Oops, don't use single quotes. Single quotes are for characters, but double quotes for string. So liters. Okay, so there's a number here. We've forgotten about the a, we don't need that. So int b is equal to 5, and then we can join it in a sentence like this. So, and then what we're gonna do is, let's say java c app.java, and then here we do java app. Okay, so this jug has 5 liters. So that's how you can use these operators. Now there are more operators we can talk about. For example, the equal sign is used if you put double equal sign. That's used to check if there's a two things are equal. So instead of assigning like this, if you say a is equal to 5, that's checking to see if a is equal to 5. Not that you're saying a should be equal to 5, no, but is a equal to 5 and stuff like that, which we'll see a bit later. Alright, so I will see you in the next video.